So which of the following expressions is 5 times as much as the sum of R and S? So sum of R and S means I'm adding, and then I'm going to multiply that whole amount by 5. So the answer is going to be D. What is the solution to the equation? So it's 1/2 x plus 3 halves x plus 1 minus 1/4 equals 5. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute this first. 3 half x plus 3 halves minus 1/4 equals 5 plus 1/2. And then I'm going to get rid of those fractions by multiplying everything on both sides by 4. So 4 times 1/2 is 2x, and 4 times 3 over 2. So it's 6x. And then I'm going to do 4 times 3 over 2, just be 6. And then I'm going to do 4 times negative 1/4. 4 over 1 times negative 1/4 is negative 4 over 4, which is equal to negative 1. And then 5 times 4 is 20. So now that I got rid of all of the fractions, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to combine my terms, 8x, and then plus 5 is equal to 20, minus 5 minus 5, 8x is equal to 15, divided by 8 divided by 8, so it would be x is equal to 15 over 8, and so my answer would be C, because I got rid of all the fractions. So let me erase this, and it says, what is the number of grams in 500 kilograms? So 1 kilogram over 1,000 grams, and then I'm going to make this integral portion. So the next one says I have 500 kilograms, and then they're asking us how many grams, so x grams. So if I times that by 500, I have to also times the bottom by 500, and so it would be 500,000. Okay. Robert sells 4 different flavors of jam at annual farmers market. The graph above shows the number of jars of each type of jam. Which flavor of jam had the greatest increase in number of jars from 1 year to? Okay, so this one increased by 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is an increase of 8. This is an increase of 5. This is an increase of 7, 8, 9. That looks like an increase of 4. And this looks like a decrease. So that's not going to be counted because it's going from a high amount to a lower. So that's decrease. So this definitely is not going to be the answer. So the answer is going to be B because it was the highest increase. Okay. Number 5. In the XY plane, a line crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 3 and passes through the point 4, 5, which of the following is an equation of the line. So we know it's y is equal to mx plus b. Okay. And it says it crosses at the y-axis at 0, 3. So the y-intercept would be 3. So y equals mx plus 3. And then we'll just have to figure out, it says it passes through the point 4, 5, which is the following of the equation. So 4, 5 is an xy point. So y would be 5 is equal to m, and then x would be 4. So that would be 1/2 is equal to m. So m y is equal to 1/2 m both 1/2 x plus 3. So that one almost got me, but I survived it. Again, they were looking for, we had to find the y-intercept, which they gave us, was 3. And then we had to figure out what the m was equal to. So we just plugged in the point for y and x, and we were able to solve for m. And then we were able to go back to y equals mx plus b by putting in the m value that we found and the b value that we found. Okay, it says, I'm going to erase this so it doesn't distract me. So it says, the amount of money m in dollars Paul earns can be represented by that, where h is the number of hours. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 11 in the equation? So it's m equals 12.5h plus 11. So when you're having 2 like this, it's being multiplied. So usually when you're multiplying something in your pay, it's usually per hour. So I'm guessing $12.50 is how much he gets paid per hour. And that's why he multiplies it by the h. So plus 11 must be an additional pay of some sort. So let me see if that adds up. So they're asking what the 11 could represent. And I realize that it's probably something additional because it's being added. The amount of money Paul earns each hour. No, each hours would be multiplied. The total amount of money in dollars he earns. No, the total amount would be m. The total amount of money in dollars Paul earns after working for 1 hour. No, because we said he gets $12.50 an hour, so it would be $12.50. The amount of money in dollars Paul earns in addition to an hourly wage. The answer would be D. In addition means it's on top of what he earns hourly. So that's how you would figure out his hourly wage. And this is something in addition to it because it's being added. Okay, I'm doing good so far. I'm going to just try my best to keep going and not get intimidated by these problems, even though they seem to get a little bit trickier as we continue to go on. Okay, the table gives a population of the 5 largest countries. Which of the following is the closest to the mean population of these countries? Okay, so mean just means average. So you find the average by adding all the numbers up. 80.8, 60.8, 46.5, 64.3. And when we add those all together, just for time's sake, 65.9 plus 80.3 plus 60.8 plus 46.5 plus 64.3, that's equal to 317.8. So you add them and then you divide it by how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You divide that by 5 and it would be 63.56. Which one is closest to that? It would be if we round this. So lead up to the number to the right is larger than 5, so we round that up, so it would be 63.6. So I would say this one is C. 63.6. Okay, so which of the following fractions is equivalent? So we're going to go ahead, -6 minus -9 over 8. These two negatives together become a plus. So it would be -6 plus 9 over 8. -6 plus 9, the 9 is larger, so the answer is also going to be positive, like the 9. And it's larger by 3, so it's going to be positive 3 over 8. So the answer is B. Water runs from a pump at a rate of 1.5 gallons per 1 hour. Oh, per 1 minute, sorry. Amber, you gotta make sure that you read. 1.5 gallons per 1 minute. At this rate, how long would it take to fill a tub with 150 gallon capacity? So 150 gallon capacity. How long would it take? So in order to get from 1.5 to 150, 150 divided by 1.5, you multiply that by 100. So I gotta multiply this bottom number by 100. So we would take 100 minutes. And I hope that's an answer choice, and it is. B. Yay! Okay, the volume of a right rectangular prism is found by multiplying the length of the base by the width of the base by the height. So length times width times height equals volume, okay? A right rectangular prism has a volume of 30, so V is 30. If the height of the prism is 6 inches, what is the area of the base of the prism? Okay, so that's interesting. So length times width is the base. So area is equal to length times width. That's outside knowledge that I have. So they're asking us, if the height is 6, what is the area? So basically, what would be these two numbers, length times the width, equal to? So remember, length times the width times the height should equal 30. So length times the width, 5 times 6 is equal to 30. So the area, or the length times the width, would be equal to 5 inches. So in this one, I had to use some of my outside knowledge to know that area is length times width. So they just asked us, what number can this be if this is equal to 6? And that's super simple, because 5 times 6 is equal to 30. I'm going to erase this so that I don't get overwhelmed. If I have a new sheet of paper, I'd be using another piece of paper. Okay, so it says, Jacob B. followed a recipe that requires 2 cups of water. So 2 cups of water, W, for 3 cups of flour, F. If he used 8 cups of flour, how many cups of water did he use? So I'm going to set up a proportion, but I got to be careful that I put the flour on the bottom of the second proportion. 8 cups of flour. So if you use 2 cups of water for every 3 cups of flour, if you use 8 cups of flour, how many cups of water did he use? So we need to find how much water he used, which is on the top. So I'm going to use the butterfly method. 2 times 8 is equal to 3 times x. 2 times 8 is 16. And then divided by 3, divided by 3. And 16 divided by 3 is the same as saying 5 1/3. So 16 over 3 is an improper fraction. If we want to write it as a mixed number, you would check to see how many times can 3 go into 16. That's 5, so that's 15, so you have 1 left over and you keep the denominator the same. So it would be 5 1/3. So the answer is C. This one was trying to trick me up because they were using cups as the top and the bottom. So I had to make sure that I use, if I put the flour on the bottom and the water on top in the first one, that I put the flour on the bottom and the water on the top in the second one. And then I used the butterfly method, which is cross multiplication. All right, so now number 12. I'm going to breathe. I'm not going to get overwhelmed. The problems are getting a little bit more difficult, but I'll be okay. So it's 4x plus 5 plus 4x plus 8. Which of the following is equivalent to the expression above? So let's try to multiply this out to see what we get. We're going to distribute the 4. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 5 is 20. And I'm going to bring down the rest. And now that it's all distributed out, we can combine like terms. So 4x and 4x is 8x. And 20 plus 8 is 28. But I don't see that anywhere here. So they must have broken this down in another way. So which of the following is equivalent? So you can break this down by taking out a 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2x, you go left, and then 28 divided by 4 is 7. So it's also equivalent to this, and that's A. So again, I distribute everything out. I added like terms, but then I got an expression that wasn't found in my answers. And so I tried to see if I can take out another common factor between 8 and 28. So I was able to divide out 4. And when you divide out 4 from both sides, you end up with the 2x plus 7. And that's when I get my answer A. Okay, Amber, we're going to do good. We're almost there. I think there's only 20 problems and we're already on problem number 13. So, and if we make mistakes, it's okay. We're just going to pretend like nobody's watching us because this is a private test. that I'm also recording and gonna put online, but it's okay, Amber. Don't worry about other people watching you. Just do your test. Okay, so it says it took Khalid 90 minutes to complete 40 tasks. So 90 minutes, 40 tasks. Which of the following is an equivalent rate? So they're trying to see how long will it take 10 tasks. So 10 tasks equals how many minutes? So to go from 40 to 10, you divide by 4. So we're also going to divide the top by 4. So we're going to do 90 divided by 4. So 90 divided by 4 is 22.5. So the answer would be B. Oop, no. The answer would be D. Got to be careful not to go too fast. So B is very similar to D, but the decimal is in the wrong spot. So if you did 90 divided by 4, you get 22.5. And so the proper answer would be D. Good reminder for me to slow down a bit, Amber. You're okay. Just take your time. All right. So now we have a probability question, and Miss Amber doesn't like those, but we're still going to do it because it's part of the test. So it says, the table above shows a survey of 50 registered voters. If a voter who plans to vote yes on issue P is randomly selected, what is the probability they also want to say yes on issue Q? So probability is usually written as a fraction. The total amount is on the bottom, and then the specific amount that they're looking for is on the top. So we're looking at the pool of people who plan to vote yes on issue P. So on this left side, we're going to start with people who plan to vote on issue P. So this line going all the way across represents the people planning to vote on issue P. What is the total of people planning to vote on issue P? The total is right here, 20. So we already have our denominator, which is 20. Now it says out of those people, they also want to vote yes on Q. We're asking, what is this fraction for people who want to write yes on issue Q? So if we look at this, 8 say yes on issue Q, 12 say no on issue Q. So what number are we going to use? We're going to use 8 because we're looking for yes on issue Q. So it's going to be 8 out of 20. But all of these are written as decimals. So 8 out of 20 is the same as saying 8 divided by 20. And that is going to be 8 divided by 20 is going to be equal to 0.4. So our answer is going to be C. Again, when we're working with probability, I know it can get confusing, but we just try to figure out where in this box of data are we working with, then find the total, and then figure out, okay, what number are they looking for? This one or this one to put as a numerator, and that was super simple. Okay, which of the following of the values is equivalent to 5 to the negative 3? So, exponents, what I remember about exponents is that if this is a negative exponent, in order to make it positive, we can move it from being on the top to being on the bottom. And so now it could be a positive. So that's the same as saying 1 and then 5 times 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 is 25, and then 25 times 5 is 125. So the answer would be 1 over 125. So like if I had 5 to the negative 2, I would say I want to put it on the bottom now, so to make it positive, and then I would just do 1 over 5 squared, which is 25. Okay, so we're doing good. We're going to erase this so that we don't get distracted. We're happy. Everything is fine. So again, this is another exponents question, but we're good at exponents. It's fine. Which of the following expressions is equivalent? So we just have to figure out what this is equal to. Okay, so when we're working with PEMDAS, we still do whatever is inside the parentheses first. So whenever we're multiplying exponents, we just add them when they have the same base. So it would be x to the 5th on the inside of the parentheses. So we're going to bring that down, x to the 5th. And now we have the 5 on the outside. So now we can handle the exponents on the outside of the parentheses. When there's an exponent on the outside of the parentheses, you just multiply it. So it'll be x to the 25th power. So our answer would be C. Again, we do whatever's inside the parentheses first. And if, in this case, we're multiplying exponents, so we added them together and got x to the 5th. And then we dealt with the exponent on the outside by multiplying those together, and we got x to the 25th power. Okay, so we are on the last 4 problems, and I am so excited. Keep it together, Amber, you're insane. Okay, problem number 17. The elevation of the summit of Mount Whitney is 4,418 meters above sea level, and I like to draw a picture. Trailhead is 2550. What is a change in elevation to the nearest foot? Okay, so first we want to figure out what the change in elevation is. So we would just take 4,418 minus 2,550. So 4,418 minus 2,550, and that is equal to 1,868, but that's in meters. They want us to say the answer in foot. So it says 1 foot is equal to 0.3048. So if I've gotten 186, that goes on the bottom, feet go on top. 1,868 meters is on the bottom. So now I just have to cross multiply. So that's 1 times 1,868 is equal to 0.3048 x. So that's 1,868. And then just divide on both sides. And that number is equal to 6,128.6. So the answer would be C. So the answer would be C. Okay, so let's go ahead and do 18. It says the two lines given by the equations above intersect in the xy plane. What is the value of the y coordinate of the point of the intersection? So we have two equations, 3x minus 2y equals 15. And then we have x equals 3. Anytime we have two equations, I know with two different variables, x and y, it's solving a system of equations, and we can solve it by substitution. We can put this equation into this one and then solve for y. So 3x minus 2y is equal to 15. We're going to put in 3 for x. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 2y equals 15. I'm going to erase this because it's a little bit distracting. And then I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. Negative 2y is equal to 6. And then divide both sides by negative 2. And so y is equal to negative 3. So negative 3 is our answer. So we just put this equation into that, and we're able to figure out what y is equal to, because that's what they were asking for, the y coordinate. Okay, we're so close. We just have 2 more problems left. I hope I can remember how to do this. This will be embarrassing. Hope nobody's watching me. Okay, so these are 3 sets of numbers. They're saying, what are the following sets represents the union of L with the intersection of M and N? So intersection of M and N just means what values are found in these two that are found in both. So for example, 10 is found in both, 20 is found in both, 10, 20. I think those are the only ones that are found in both. I kind of drew over the numbers, so let me just double check. So intersection means when these two are compared, the M and N are compared, what numbers appear in both. So far, I think it's only 10 and 20. But then they said that's the intersection of M and N, but then it says union of L. So intersection means you're going to choose which ones appear in both numbers. But union means now you're just going to add all the other numbers in this one. So we have 0, 10, 20, 40, 80, and 100. So our answer is going to be B. So intersection means which numbers appear in both lists. Only write those down. So that's why we only wrote 10 and 20. And then union means add all the other numbers inside of that set that we're making as a union. So our answer is going to be B. And we are on our last problem of this test. We are here. We're ready. Please, Miss Amber, you got it in you. Please. I remember this one. It's so hard. Okay. It says PQR lies in the XY plane and the coordinates of vertex Q. Okay, the triangle is rotated 180 degrees clockwise about the origin. So origin is here. And then clockwise, the clock goes this way. Sorry, my Apple Pencil is like dying. So sorry. Apple Pencil, please. Please, Apple Pencil, no. So it would be, this is 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So it'll be 90, 90. So this is 180. So the triangle would end up here after being rotated 180 degrees because 90 and 90 is 180 degrees. So it would end up in this quadrant. And then it says it's reflected across the y-axis. So it's as if we placed a mirror here, and so it would appear on this side. So if it appears in this side, and that's where it ends up after going 90 and 90, which is 180 degrees, and then it gets reflected over to the other side as if you're having a mirror, then the answer would be in this quadrant. That's all positive numbers. So that means our x and y values both have to be positive numbers. So we have to look at their answer choices. It could not be A, can't be B, can't be C. It would have to be D as our answer. Guys, we just did the entire Accuplacer QAS. We are finished. Now, if you watch this, this was just me taking the test as if I was a student. I let you guys hear my thoughts, but this is not me teaching it to you. I have videos of teaching every single part of this test. So if you want a full breakdown of this test and you need more of an instructional video, question by question, please go ahead and check out my other videos that break down every single one of these problems. But if you're taking the test today, just do what I did. Pace yourself, try to remember what you know, do your best, don't get overwhelmed, and follow me for more videos.